everyone, and welcome. I'm James Jacobson in Maui, Hawaii, and I want to introduce you to the co-host of Dog Edition.
Well, hello, I'm Clare Mansell, and I'm in Ottawa, Canada, or at least I am at the moment for another few weeks.
So, Claire, you have been joining us on Dog Edition for a while, but we're kind of gearing up for the fall season where we do these live promos to talk about what's happening on Dog Edition. So this is the first time we've ever done that. I'm so glad to see you live, or at least live on one of these live stream events.
And also, I'm quite excited because this is my little baby, this episode. This was the one I produced. This is the one that, I did in Ottawa. So I'm really excited to be talking about it.
Well, I think that's so awesome because, not only are you a co-host, but you produce shows. And this is the first one you've done for us. And it's an amazing story about Stewart.
Yeah.
Who is Stewart for everyone who's watching this right now?
So Stewart, who I was going to say I've met twice, but actually that's not technically true because I didn't meet him the second time, but we'll come on to that. He is was going to be a guide dog. So he was a guide dog in training, and we discover all about what happens if guide dogs don't kind of make the grade, because the reality is they have very high standards and some of them don't quite make that grade.
And he went to the Canadian, where was he trained?
Manatik. That's where they're based.
The official Canadian guide dog organization.
Yeah. So they train puppies, all the time, bringing them up through the training, and it usually takes about 2 years. And Stewart was one of those dogs who was just suited to a different kind of career. So he has now landed on his feet, and he has a job in a 5-star hotel. And I think that's fantastic. So
sometimes it doesn't work out your first career choice, and so he had a vocational. What do they call those service dogs?
Career change. Yeah, exactly. So we find out all about those. Yeah. And it was one of those roles that he just slotted into perfectly. He was made for that. That was his vocation in life. And I was going to say, I said I've met him twice because I actually went back into the Chateau Laurier last week. And because I know where he is, I walked down, there's a little corridor you can walk down, and there's some washrooms that I wanted to go to. So I was there was a reason to be walking down the corridor, and I was keeping an eye out for him, and I could see him in the place that he likes to be. I'm just going to say that the place that he likes to be, you have to listen to the podcast to find out what the place is, but we mention a place that he particularly likes.
Special place.
Yeah. And I could see him in there dozing. So he was having a great time.
I guess they get time down to take a little nap, and not a bad place to do it in a 5-star hotel.
My husband was really disappointed though, because obviously he's heard a lot about Stewart, and we were going to the hotel and he's like, I want to meet Stewart. We were going there for afternoon tea. He was more interested in meeting Stewart than afternoon tea. And I'm like, well, you can see him there, but you just can't get to him. Yeah.
I suppose, a media celebrity coming in, he has to do his job as, being the ambassador of goodwill.
Yes, absolutely. But I think he'd had a very exhausting morning, and so he was just chilling out.
Well, it's a fun episode, and it's a good way to kind of get us through the end of the summer and into the fall months when we have so many different shows planned. But because this is the first time that we've ever done this on this platform, for those people who don't know who Clare Mansell is, who are you, Claire?
I thought you were going to ask me my favorite color. That would be easier. Who am I? Well, that's a very philosophical question, Jim.
Jean-Paul Sartre, yeah.
Yes.
I broadcast, therefore I am. I talk, but no.
Yeah.
You've had a pretty interesting career, and you are extremely well traveled.
Yes. So I'm a military wife, which is why I'm in Ottawa at the moment, and I have the wrong accent for the wrong country. So I'm going back to the UK, but we've lived in a few different places. And I've always worked in this kind of role. So I worked in broadcasting before, but I love podcasts. I really love podcasts, and I've loved them like you from the very beginning. We had a similar kind of early start into it. And
I remember in the old days when how old do you remember? Like, I had a iPod where you had to plug in you had to download
Oh yeah.
the file to your computer, and I had PCs, so it was even more complicated. And then use a crazy USB thing with that really thick thing that would plug in, that would then put the MP3 onto your iPod, so that you could go listen, and you could probably get I don't know, 5 hours of content or something.
If we're reminiscing now, I remember the first time I saw a digital audio player, and it was a friend of mine who's a guy who's into tech actually, and he works in that industry, and he was going off traveling around the world, and he had this, it was like a brick. It was a brick, and he said, my whole music library is on this. But at that stage, that was like, wow. And that was, I remember that moment as being like the gateway to everything that came afterwards. Yeah.
I was just told by someone that they can't hear me, which would create problem.
That's weird.
Is that any better? Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Huh.
That's very frustrating. Are you picking that up in the comments?
Yeah, I saw.
Oh yeah, I see. We don't want to just.
Someone says I'm soft. I'm sorry.
Can you turn yourself up a bit?
Maybe
that helps.
That helps you? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, there we go.
That's useful feedback here.
We haven't used in a while.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad. Selfishly, I'm glad it's you who's making the errors here.
Yeah. Well, it is. I take responsibility, because if you are in the comments and you can hear me louder now, let me know, because it sounds like I am very loud in my own ears, but I can turn that down. Technology, just the ability to live stream
is incredible.
Talk about what it was like the old days, the first versions of podcasts and the first MP3 players and stuff like that.
But also the fact that we're in completely different locations, Jim. In a few weeks,
like we're in the same room.
Almost.
But I mean, we sound. The technology is just incredible, and that helps make what we do at Dog Edition possible, because we have a team of producers all over the world, and we are bound together through great technology, and more importantly through a passion of loving dogs and being real dog lovers. So I guess the thing that we always talk about here whenever I interview people is, give me your dog cred for everyone else who's interested. Like, how much of a dog lover are you?
Oh, how much of a dog? How do I quantify being a dog lover? Is this like the most extreme dog related thing you've done? Because I think I can qualify being a dog lover in almost one sentence, which is, I'm about to fly my dog back to the UK, and it's very expensive. So that makes me a dog lover.
Okay.
Can I just quantify it in that one sentence?
You could, although this is probably an opportunity to say that you won't be flying with your dog Maple on the way back.
No, but I'm going on a ship. I would love to be taking my dog on the ship, but they don't have enough kennels. And unless a miracle happens, you're going
on a ship that has dog kennels.
Yeah.
But there's no room in the inn for Maple to get a ride.
Yeah.
This isn't just any ship. I mean, we're not talking about some freighter or some military thing. This is
the Queen Mary.
Queen Mary.
Yeah. Although I did like your idea about trying to smuggle her in on the crates and put her on the balcony. I mean,
don't they have trunks? I had this vision of when you travel,
drape a blanket over it.
Europe, you use trunks and steamers, and I'm sure Maple wouldn't mind being there.
Yeah, just tell housekeeping not to come in for the entire week. It'll be fine.
I don't want anyone to clean my room. I just am filthy, and I like to keep it.
That complimentary champagne you're trying to bring me. No. If you need to enter the room, I don't want it. No. Yeah. That could be tricky. No. So she's flying back, and because of the craziness with the airlines at the moment,
because you can't get into Heathrow.
Right? Yeah, you can't get into Heathrow at the moment, and all those things. So it's actually costing more to fly her back than it is costing all of us to go on the Queen Mary too. So yeah, that qualifies me as a dog lover, right?
That does. I think whenever you make these financial sacrifices for your dog, that is a monetary way of giving dog cred and being a dog lover. Yeah, people will spend more money for their own medical care and sometimes for their food than for their dog than they will for themselves. And so that's true dog cred.
We have someone on our team who's just paid a lot for her pet spills, hasn't she? So yeah, we know what's that's like, and the sacrifices that people make to look after the animals in our lives. So yeah.
Vet bills can get pretty expensive. Did you see there was a story in the Washington Post on Sunday about someone who said, my dog has cancer and they've been paying insurance for all these years, and they paid about $9,000 in, and the insurance is making it so they are basically breaking even. But then she's like wondering the value of it, and it's a really interesting thing how much money we spend on our pets, especially towards the end of life.
Yes, and I had literally this conversation about pet insurance yesterday with somebody who, you know, pet insurance has been there at the moment that they needed it to be there for their dog, and they're very grateful of that. But as the dog gets older and there's pre-existing conditions and everything, it becomes more difficult. And I don't know what the right answer is with that. I really don't.
No, it's like,
because you are in that territory now, aren't you?
I am. My beloved Kanga is on her, as I like to think of it. She has had more days gone by than she has in the future, and she's 4 years into cancer treatment, and she's done extraordinarily well. But we're nearing that point where we're having some issues between the cancer and hip dysplasia and quality of life, because everything's about quality of life for me. And so, yeah, it's really, really tough, because this is like a hard dog.
I was there last year with our 13-and-a-half-year-old dog, and she had a very, very healthy life, but went downhill in the last couple of weeks. And in a lot of respects, I think that makes it easier, because you don't have, I mean, this long, painful journey that you have been on is really taxing for everybody.
Quite a good quality of life until just very recently. So that's good. But we do one of these things that we do here in Hawaii that Kanga has inspired us to do, this thing called Pauhana, which means Pau means end and Hana work. So the end of the workday. So it's happy hour basically. And so it's around sunset, and she has this particular park that right is on the ocean, and beautiful manicured like grass that is like just perfect, you know, putting green height, and it's just gorgeous. And I won't tell you where it is, lest everyone come and find it. But it is become popular with dog owners, and so it has become sort of a dog park at the end of the evening here in South Maui. I'll give you that. And but Kanga has dragged us there by her just, you know, cute looking at us and like saying to Molly and me, like, it's time to go. And so we have been trying to do that both for her and for us. And in so many ways, that's the type of, you know, cues that we look for from dogs to help remind us to do the right thing, because they know it.
Yeah,
they know it's
well,
right.
They're still getting pleasure out of things, and
Absolutely.
and therefore,
so even if I have to carry her, because
how old is she now?
Almost 15.
Yeah,
almost 15.
That's a good age.
So
isn't it?
she's done the cancer Iditarod, and now the orthopedic. You know, she used to jump and fly through the air and stuff like that, and so that's kind of affecting the hips. And so I'm learning about serious orthopedic issues that are combined with serious cancer metastasis, and it's tough.
At least you have a small dog who you can't easily carry.
That's true. That is the advantage of a Maltese. People say, "Why do you like Mike?" Because I can scoop him up, and I used to be able to scoop up both of them.
I love it.
Two-fisted dogs.
Well, so I was going to just quickly ask you, and it's a terrible question to ask, really, because you're not there yet. But when it inevitably does happen, would you get another Maltese? It's your breed of choice.
I got snookered into Maltese so my whole life I always wanted the dog. When I was a kid, I wanted the dog. I wanted a dog. I wanted a dog. I wanted a white dog. And my parents promised me that when I turned 10, I'd get a dog. I didn't get a dog when I turned 10. I got a tape recorder, which perhaps created the whole podcast thing.
The trouble they caused. If only they got you a dog.
So I didn't get a dog until many years later. When I graduated out of college, I was living with a girl, and we got, I wanted a dog, and she wanted a dog, and somehow her choice of breed won. It was a Maltese, and I got hooked. And so I've always had and rescued Maltese. And so yeah, I think I like Maltese.
That's good. It's really
a
good.
Little dog, obviously,
Yeah.
but I have a particular affinity for them in terms of their eyes, and they look like. And we keep them in puppy cuts because it's warm here, and so they always look like they're a puppy. And sometimes it's like, yeah, this is my 14-year-old dog, and it's like, how old? But now she's showing her age.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. Right,
Claire. Yeah, go on.
Oh, I was going to say, are we going to wrap this up and then just tell people that if they want more of this kind of banter, they have to go and listen to the podcasts, because I think it's only fair.
We don't normally banter like this on our podcast. This is just a live stream. On our podcast, we're much more efficient, because Dog Edition, if you haven't heard it, is the world's first podcast designed to listen to while you walk your dogs. And it's true. It's sort of like... people equated it with All Things Considered, National Public Radio, or programs on the BBC or CBC or Australian Broadcasting. It's really tightly produced quality entertainment where we don't ramble like we do here. But it's a perfect length for you to listen to while you walk your dogs, about 20, 30 minutes. And this season coming up here in the fall, we have so many amazing episodes. Some are light, like Stewart, and some are heavy. We just did an episode, if you haven't heard it, about dogs in the Ukraine, and it's a really powerful piece. And you can find our entire back catalog on our website at dogedition.com. And Dog Edition is just one of the shows at Dog Podcast Network, and we have a whole network of shows for dog lovers. If you are just learning about us, please check out dogpodcastnetwork.com. We even have a show on cancer called Dog Cancer Answers, because unfortunately too many dog owners have to deal with that at one point in their life.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I hope you check us out. Oh, there is something fun in the Stewart.
The video.
What
are you going to say? Yeah. So there's a video on our Instagram, which is Stewart's having a ball thrown for him and retrieving the ball in the lobby area of this 5-star hotel. And in fact, when I was in there with my husband, I was like, this is the corridor. This is where he retrieved the ball. The video was shot. So yeah, that's a little bit of fun. And I've got another one, which I'm going to put up later on, which shows a few more shots of him in different locations around the hotel. He is such a chilled and lovely dog. So he's having a great life there.
Well, I'm sure he's going to get some more fans as a result of this episode, and you did a great job producing it, and I love having you as our co-host. It's fun hanging out with you, Claire.
It's fun. I think all of us have fun putting the show together, and I hope that shows in what we produce as well. So yeah,
me too. Yeah, and if it doesn't, let us know.
Exactly.
If you want to hear your comments, visit us at dogedition.com. Check out our back catalog, and if you have ideas for shows that we should cover, things that we should talk about, because these are dog adjacent stories, consider connecting with us about that. We're also hiring, so if you are a dog lover and a storyteller, a reporter, a podcaster, a journalist, someone who knows how to really craft a story, please check out our job site at dogpodcastnetwork.com/jobs, because we are continuing to hire as we grow this network. Well, Claire, that's all I wanted to share. Hopefully we'll do this again real soon.
Absolutely. And can I just say, small victory, I've managed to keep the dog out of the room that I'm in, because I have a ball-obsessed dog, and I was pretty convinced she would show up halfway through and start demanding to have the ball thrown for her. We would have been really kind of quite funny in the middle of a DPN live stream, but maybe not the first time.
I think Maple would be always welcome on any live stream we do. Dogs are always welcome, as are you. Please make sure you friend us and like us and follow us in your favorite podcast app. We're on YouTube, social media, all that stuff. But that's all for now.
Yeah.
I'm James Jacobson, and as we say here as we close out every show, I'm James Jacobson in Maui, Hawaii.
And I'm Clare Mansell in Ottawa, Canada, for a few more weeks.
From all of us at DPN, I wish you and your dog a very warm aloha. See you guys.